Hifumi?
Himself?
Whoever did is the mastermind. The true
Killer.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Oh, so we're all... Because again, Taka was killed at 6 a.m. and nobody has an alibi for that time.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together. Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus!
What? Why is Jill not like Hina? She always attacks Hina so much.
Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
I'm sus of everybody.
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The hammers.
A weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all.
That means it used the same hammer. I don't think hammer 3 and 4 were used. I think the hammer that was cleaned off in the repository was the one that was actually used. Not hammer 3, not hammer 4, but that other hammer that we found in the room. When Stu, listen, why did her tongue get longer? She always gets like the more frustrated and like, what do you call it? The more frustrated, the more enthusiastic she gets, the longer her tongue gets. Is it Sakura? Maybe, I don't think it's Sakura. Oh, I hope not. I like Sakura.
But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right?
I think it might be Hina, truthfully. They train with hammers, right? Oh, that's true. She did make the comment that they train with hammers. I wasn't there for a while. No, you're right. You're right, Ukata. She made the comment that she trains with hammers.
So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it.
But they would have to wash it, hence why that hammer was wet.
But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
I like how he didn't take offense to it. He's like, yeah, my brain like that. Just start eating.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments.
I think they were killed with the same hammer. Not separate, Lo. Lo, Hero, my dude, poor Hero. He's doing his best.
The hammers were already laying around those other rooms.
Hero, my worst, my favorite comedy. Yeah, it's sad that he's only there for comedic relief. So question, how could the culprit have gotten hands on either of those hammers?
I haven't a clue. So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Yeah, they're more just like, boop. The little boop hammers.
Then,
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
Exactly. A different hammer.
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
But without him, trials would feel so too serious. I think it's good he's there, even though he just kind of like gives like, sometimes it's useful, but sometimes it's not, like tips. The weapon that was actually used to kill Hifumi, the whole picture surrounding this case won't become clear until we figure that out. Somehow I have to find the truth. I already know the truth. It's the hammer that was like dripping wet because somebody cleaned it. I know which one it is. Let me see. The spotless hammer, that one. Because it's way too suspicious.
Used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3?
Oh, that didn't work? Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. I figured I was right.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it? Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance!
What? Oh! Don't give me that look, Jill. I swear to God. Let me let them finish. Let me hear them completely out. Maybe I should just let them finish.
What was used to kill Hifumi?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more
Actually, hold on.
info.
I'm gonna take this.
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers.
Oh wait. Oh
And
wait. No, where's
about
the
it.
hammer? Oh God damn it! Oh, I missed it. I know which one. Just get me
What
back
was
into the
used to
thing.
kill Hifumi?
the murder weapon had to be one of the Justice.
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
This is why I should probably just let them speak first before I do anything. No, why is she back? Shows she's never leaving. Oof.
The murder weapon wasn't a Justice Hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
Byaku killed me. I thought you could fast forward. You can. I just, again, I don't want to miss it, Pebbles, so I just kind of let it play so I don't miss it outright. There's a fast
Seriously?
forward. You're right.
A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Here we go. Here we go.
And the
Oh,
reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder.
see if you caught. You might be, but again, ooh, I think it's either Hina or Celeste. I don't think Sakura technically caught on the
If
case.
the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones.
Though the only one who would be able to handle that big of a hammer is Sakura. No, I don't think any of the other people would be able to handle that big of a
And
hammer.
even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
Taka died. Everyone said, I don't know, Taka was a little aggressive sometimes. I see your hammer is as big as mine. I mean, we all know who Yamada would do anything for Celeste. That's why I said I think Celeste is very sus right now. Who cares?
So
Yeah.
Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him. Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder.
What, Peps? Yes. Yeah, like, Yamada wasn't a bad guy, but he was just cringe, and he said some
So
creepy
the
things.
idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
There wouldn't be any reason for anyone to work together. At least that's what we thought at first, but... What's happening? Oh, another argument? Broken Witch Bound Boot Trap Spotless Hammer. Okay, hold on.
Based on the rules that have been laid
Okay.
out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive.
Exactly.
Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
I don't think that's true.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this
What? There
case,
was two.
however, there were two murders.
Is the possibility of an accomplice really that insane, or is that some chance? Because technically, Yamada could have killed Taka, and then somebody could have killed Yamada. So there was no accomplice, just Yamada killed Taka, and then somebody killed Yamada. So it was like a domino effect. So there's a creep in two Pebble. Great. It is good. Come debate best track.
Based
Yeah,
on the rules
impossible.
that have been
I
laid
don't
out
think
for
it's
us,
this.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right?
Hold on.
In
I
this
think
case,
I know.
however, there were two murders.
Let me try this. Correct, okay, now you're cooking with oil instead of what? I'm doing it. Slowly, gears are turning.
assuming the rule holds true,
Yes.
No, that's wrong. Since there were 2 murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. If only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
There's no benefit for helping the person if there's no reward for it.
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you.
Exactly.
If there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that 2 people could act as each other's accomplices to commit 2 separate murders.
Exactly.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime. And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
Exactly.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders.
That was 2. You can, somebody can kill me for useless positively, Joe. It's Joe.
Instead, each person killed someone, creating 2 separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look.
Exactly. So the killer, big brain killer.
A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
Coco and Byaku's serious talk about trial. Makoto, I'm an egg.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
I feel like it's a girl. I feel like a girl did it. The only one that could persuade Yamada to help them would be one of the girls. Cause I don't think Yamada would help one of the guys, truthfully. Effort made to convince us the 2 murderers were the same. That was the main characteristic The effort made to convince us the 2 murderers were the same. That was the main characteristic this time. Coco must have noticed the fact from the very beginning, which is why she said not to look at this as a series of connected events, but entirely separate incidences. Bakugo sitting on Jill. I don't know, they have a weird relationship. Hey, now here is where Detective Okada comes into play. Correct, Stuffy, it is a girl. Players in Makoto confused about the trial. Coco, I got you, fam. Let me just finish. I don't know why Coco doesn't just take over. Coco really is amazing, although, when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Go tell him. Oh. Like, it's almost unnaturally how good she is at this.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved. But then, who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
The killer manipulated Yamada to carry out a number of actions and in the end murdered him. In the debates up till now, the way the case has unfolded, when you consider all that, there's really only one person who seems to fit. I'm selecting someone? I don't think it's Coco. I think it's Celeste. I think it's Celeste.
Here's my answer.
Oh, I was right?
It was Celeste.
Was I right? Hold on, we're gonna just do this real quick, because I was right from the beginning. If I was right, I swear to God, I can't say anything about this case because I know by watching people figure it out, it brings me life. Cecil do be evil to point at her, scream, what you? Well, I told you, she was the one that saw the shadowy figure on the staircase. She was the one sawing them run down the hall. She was the one that took the picture with the camera. She was the one guarding the body, and then he suddenly vanished. Like, she was just there in too many instances. It was just too suspicious. Like, I called her out from the very beginning.
So I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
Because again, she's the only one that had pull on Yamada, because Yamada, remember when she asked Yamada for a milk tea and then he instantly made it for her? He instantly made it for her? No one else had a pull on Yamada other than Celeste. Although she did it for such a weak this really?
So what you are saying then is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would be within 10 feet of that shit for brains, that lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot!
She scares me. Yeah, I hate this trial for her motive so much. Her motive is it really that bad?
Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Compared to every other trial, this motive just sucks ass. Oh, I'm kind of... Oh.
Is that so?
I'm curious how she dies, though, because she's a gambler, right? She spoke French. Ooh la la. It's so bad, her motive.
Is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
What is it that only Hifumi and Celeste had in common? Encouraging the suspicious individual, the screaming, the paper hidden in Hifumi's pants, the screaming, encouraging the suspicious individual.
I got it! The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it?
So I was right the whole time when I called out Celeste. I just couldn't figure out if she was the accomplice or the killer. I'm selling some Celeste Tears mugs right here at Monokuma's shop. Oh my goodness. She's gonna have a breakdown. I'm pretty sure. All of them have a breakdown when they get caught. I'm sure her accents are fake. Do you think so, Pebbles? You think it's just all, like, I mean, she does bluff. She's a gambler, so she can bluff. Can I get a mug? Oh, her accent is real well done if it's fake.
The only ones who ever actually saw Robo Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
You know, when I started sussing Celeste, probably from the start.
Shush, the adults are talking now.
Oh, fine, Byaku.
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual.
He says that, but none of us are adults here, other than Hiro, from what I can tell. Why couldn't it be Jill? Was like, why?
If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
What do you mean everything they told us? That moment where there were 2 dead people and Hifumi was one of them, that's when I sussed Celeste. What? Don't be quiet, keep talking. Yeah.
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct?
You help more. Exactly. And he just takes the spotlight. This man sings, Byaku, I'll let you screw this up. Let me know when you need help. Although the company's like, what the fuck is this?
And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
So I saw something moving around at the top of the stairs.
We headed to the 2nd floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen.
Exactly. Just what for him scream. Tell Maggie. The moment the chapter started, she acted completely different from how she has in the first 2 chapters. Plus, when she didn't want to look at the file, when she immediately knew where the bodies were, that sealed it for me. Oh, she didn't want to look at the file. Did she ever deny wanting to look at the file? I don't remember that. I don't remember that part, but she does. You are right. She's been a little bit more active, I guess, more talkative in this one than she was in the last 2 chapters. Okay, can I spell confirm? Yes. Shut up, Byaku, let me... Oh.
Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the 3rd floor.
See, I started sussing her when I realized she's the only one to see the culprit other than Yamada. She literally caught him on the camera, saw him on the stairs, saw him on the 3rd floor, and then saw Yamada's body disappear. See, that part I didn't catch, Dorgan, her not looking in the file.
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
And when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
So that's what's wrong. That was a rather intense scream from someone like you. I saw him, that strange costume man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. Was walking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared. Shut up. Right, I'm listening to the class trial.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
Yeah, and then he disappeared. Huh? What was that? came from downstairs. It must have been Yamada. He's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back. Togami is a Gloria hog spotlight chasing. He needs a good slap in the face with Makoto's pimp. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Perfect.
It was to get us to divide into 2 groups. So that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
Exactly, so then they wouldn't know that Yamada's actually not dead.
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Then why don't we split up into 2 groups? I'll head at the hunting party that seems much more interesting. Very well, then Makoto, Hina, you come with me to the nurse's office. I will leave the capture of the suspicious individual to Toko, Byaku, and Sakura.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected.
Ooh, it's,
And
yeah.
on top of that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it?
It was a call.
It was your way of telling him, we are on the 3rd floor. Everything's going according to plan.
Sorry. And Danganronpa fandom. Oh,
Why
do they?
else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
Facts. Yeah, man, that was a piercing. Yeah, it's cut now. It makes sense.
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead,
I certainly was not expecting this. I did not imagine that Yamada would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered.
She did call it out pretty fast. Screamed like a bird. She should have said, recall. Sounds something else that sounds like something else than a cry. Yeah.
You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
Yeah, I mean, she's a little evil.
I don't believe it. Everything, the whole thing was one big act.
Hina,
Still
you
believe
were
it.
with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kind of sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Exactly. They made Celeste so obvious as a killer in this one. I told Pebbles this one was way too easy. The only thing that made me suspicious was how she was the only, like I said, she was the only one to see the culprit every single time. You'd think at some point somebody else would have seen him. It wouldn't have happened if you didn't get up to just get donuts.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very
Are we doing
ugly
the
indeed.
manga now? Yeah, the moment chapter started, her character almost fully changed. That's the unfortunate thing, is that by doing that, they give the character away. I didn't notice it. It was good on Durgan to notice something like that. Leave Hina alone. I stand the donut queen. Leave the donut queen alone. I agree with Pebble.
Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
What's her
I
mistake?
didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
His personality is, haha, donuts are sad. I mean, when you get sad, you eat. So it's kind of just about one fatal mistake. Fatality. Would you agree, Celeste? They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around frightened and confused. We're all going to die here. We're going to die just like those guys died. Oh.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
She said plural. She said 2 people.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room.
At that point, Celeste wouldn't have known about Taka's body.
Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the 4 of us headed to the nurse's office.
Yeah, no, she didn't know about Taka's body by then. Yeah, the guys is
Now,
plural.
the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being
Exactly.
dead.
How did she know about Taka's body?
Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Bianca said that Celeste's comment doesn't make sense, but what is he alluding to? Another argument? Another argument? Holy shit. Let's see. Handbook Monokuma file Celeste's account. Why the e-handbook?
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died.
This? No, okay. I should probably wait for her to say everything.
We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys
Let me
died.
take this.
And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it?
What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
What? Well, I thought that was what was strange. Don't give me that, Byaku. Don't you start with me. Don't give me that. Oh my god.
What was so strange about Celeste's
Let me
comment?
take this. Okay. Start back.
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this.
That makes sense, Pebbles. Now that you say that, makes
The sight
everything
of
make
us
sense.
Standing around, frightened and
Look at Byaku's face.
confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here.
Come on.
We are going to die, just like those.
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
That makes sense. So you're trying to find who to rebuttal, not who to, like you said.
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died.
You're right, Pebble. So that makes sense, Pebble. So you're not trying to agree with somebody in that case. You're trying to argument somebody, rebuttal somebody. Kind of think, Bianca, I'm gonna ruin this council.
When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
And now, big brain moment. Yeah, I understand what you wanted to do. You just can't agree and trigger happy, only refute. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. It's called the trigger argument, or it's the argument, so it makes sense that I'm not agreeing with somebody, I'm arguing with somebody. I should have figured that.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys?
It's true.
Because
very
Kyoko had
true.
also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
True. That's actually true. Uh-oh.
You all have such vivid imaginations.
Is she
You know
still
that?
not admitting it?
Imaginations.
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw.
Oh, so how did you know?
Then what about the picture I took?
Oh,
How do
I
you
see.
explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
They posed Hero to make it look like that. Well, you're a liar, so I guess I'm guilty.
It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on. And then she used the camera's timer to
No, they
set up the
used Hero.
picture.
They set Hero up. Oh, yes. Yes, the
As
laugh
if
of a
you've
guilty person.
forgotten. You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer.
Yeah, this is a cheapo
In
camera.
other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away.
At least she's not calling us. That's true. She's trying to defend herself. Because if she called us stupid, then we'd instantly think that she was guilty.
If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Are you making fun of Leon Pebbles? Is that who you're making? When he's like, stupid. That camera is it is pretty bad.
Simple.
Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What if it's Yamada dragging Hero away? What do you mean? This
What
camera
did you
so
possibly
fancy.
mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Stupid. If it wasn't a picture of the suspect being dragging Yamada away, only other possibility Yamada is dragging the suspect away. Yamada and the suspect had been drinking. Yamada and the suspect are dancing.
I got
That one. Yamada's dragging
It's
Hiro, not
a
Hiro
picture of
dragging
the
Yamada.
suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
Exactly. Mara. At the same time, you could feel how desperate he was, but like, man, can't make it more obvious.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit.
Yeah, because if you look like it looks like the robot is slumped over Yamada being dragged. No, there is no other explanation. Do not try to figure it out.
We've
No.
simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther.
I feel. Why do you feel assaulted, Leon? Or 11:03 because I said Leon.
If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
I wonder if you like this game.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Yeah, that's a pretty guilty laugh. I agree, Cody.
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Hey, knowing that Celeste is having fake accents, she could say it true.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Oh. Plus, think she can prove that there's no way Yifumi or Yamada was dragging the suspect away, but is that really possible? Oh my god, we're gonna refute. Please stop referring to France's words. Everyone know. Oh. I'm just gonna. Oh my god, there's a lot.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out. Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You
Okay.
tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Text is all shaky.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Oh, wait. Was that not it? But I thought the blueprint said they couldn't stand up straight. Ugh.
There's no way they could stand up straight like that.
There we go.
No,
Okay, I was
wrong.
close. It's there for nothing. We got this. It's fine. Let them talk all the way through. It's fine. We got it.
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that. Because that Robo-Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
You can't bend in it. So I can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight. Ding dong, y'all wrong.
That's right!
That's right.
They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
True. Look at her face.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it.
So he couldn't fight back.
That's how they were able to fake that whole thing.
Cause if he was able to bend, he would look hunched over and he would look passed out. But by making it so that he was forced to stand, it looks like he's actually carrying him. Oh, they done goof.
The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Did Celeste made the costume just for this? Apparently. Oh, is she starting to realize she's fucked up bad?
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
Uh-oh. She doesn't like losing though. She's the ultimate gambler. She doesn't like losing. I think the design is from... That's true. I think Yamada made it because Yamada's like the fan artist. Is she snapping?
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean,
Oh.
checkmate?
She angry.
Celeste?
Even they realize it.
Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem.
The face was terrifying.
Already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
I think she just a wee bit there. Who was it? Who attacked you? Who tried to kill you? Who killed me? That's right, I remember their name. Yasuhiro.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not?
Her accent, Pebbles is right, her accent goes away and comes back and changes. It's like weird, but based on her emotion, her accent goes all over the place.
He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro. In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
She's trying to flip us off. It looks like she's trying to flip us off, but not doing it well.
Wait, but my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
Is it really?
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
What is Celeste's real name? I forget what Celeste's real name is. Celeste is just a nickname, if I remember correctly. Trust me, in Super Danganronpa 2, Danganronpa Ultra Despair Girls, and Danganronpa 3, there are faces that are, wait, is there really? Oh, goodness gracious.
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
He said the person's last name. He gave everyone nicknames. He said for serious a lot. He said their last names, right? He always said their last names.
That's right. Our last names. He called us all by our last names.
I forget Celeste's last name, though. That's a problem. I forget her actual name. Well, she never told. I thought she did in the very beginning. Oof, she gonna burn me.
I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example.
Yeah, I remember him saying last names.
So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name.
That's why I said to remember the way he talks. That makes sense. That makes sense. I didn't think about it till then, because right when she said that, I was like, oh, that's right. He doesn't use first names.
Indecent?
Don't talk.
Bianca's like, shut up. Togo, be quiet. Jill, this is not the time.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No, there's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
Shut up, like, oh my goodness. She'll just shut down again.
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to.
Because we don't know her last name.
And that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit!
Again, for somebody who's not guilty, she's getting very, very angry.
Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you?
Yeah. you big dead, you lose. You lose. You lose. Good day, sir.
Well, do I? What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
My name is Slip Shade. Oh my god.
Okay, then fill us
my
in.
God.
What's your real name?
Celestial Lunenburg, goddammit.
Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up!
Frankie, you dead loser came over. You drank fizzy lifting drinks. Good day, sir. Real murderer. You lose.
My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could
Oh,
you
I remember
please
that.
stop making me repeat myself over and over
I remember
again?
I remember her saying Ludenberg. Celesta won't give up, so then I have to do something to make her accept it. Oh, oh, is this an argument? Another one? Handbook. The handbook. The handbook will have her actual name on it, because Coco said we might need the handbook during this trial.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something.
Because the
He
handbook will
wanted
have our
us to
actual
know
name.
the killer's last name.
No, not you.
Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name
Coco
is.
knew. Coco big
how many
brain.
times do I have to tell you? My name is Celestia Ludenberg. God damn it!
Thank you.
How long
Okay.
do you plan to go on pretending?
Thank
I'm
you.
not pretending. It's the truth.
I like the
And
truth.
since you have no way to contradict me,
Ha! I don't even have to. I will just juke all the words that hit this. Screw you, screw your silencer.
That's it. The handbook.
Oh my god, her VA did a great job in this trial. Yeah, whoever did Celeste's voice did a very good job. Will the real murderer admit they're losing? Will the real murderer please stand up? Please stand up. Have her. It's fine, Cody.
what?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right?
My name is Celeste. Not even shooting pink. No, we don't do that here, Pebbles. We just juke everything.
Monokuma told us all about it before.
This handbook is absolutely vital to a healthy school life, so don't lose it. When you start it up, it will display your name and always make sure you have it right, the right one. Now, this is not your everyday notebook. It has so many other more uses than that.
So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
If you refuse to cooperate, though, we'll automatically think you're guilty. Not even shooting. Give up, Celeste. Time to see her name. It's time to see it. I'm curious what her first
Celeste.
name is.
Can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.